Can you show me that area of the brain?
Yes, the insula is this structure right here.
Western researchers and practitioners have launched extensive studies and trials to better understand acupuncture. So tell me about the center.
This is the downtown headquarters.
At the University of Maryland, I met with integrative family physician Dr. Brian Berman. Dr. Berman is the director of the Center for Integrative Medicine, where the focus is on patient care and research of complementary and alternative medicines, such as acupuncture.
Our group has been involved since 1992 to help establish a scientific basis and working with others worldwide, both from basic science, mechanism of acupuncture, through clinical trials, and through also gathering the worldwide literature and doing systematic reviews and meta-analysis. And we have done quite a few of those.
Okay, so we're going to move up and do some of the sinus points now.
Studying the effects of acupuncture with the traditional Western double-blind, placebo-controlled model presents certain difficulties. These center on the fact that since we don't fully understand how acupuncture works, we don't know what the effective variables are. And not understanding those elements, we can't adequately control for them. On the campus of Kernan Hospital, I visited Dr. Berman's colleague, Dr. Li-Xing Lao. So this is the Center for Integrative Medicine?
Yes.
Dr. Lao is a senior researcher with the Center for Integrative Medicine and directs the center's research program in traditional Chinese medicine.
The major challenge for acupuncture research is the control group, how to design a proper control group. That's the major one. Because acupuncture has been questioned whether this is a placebo effect or not. So then in order to tease out this question, we design a study. We use acupuncture compared to placebo control.
What we should be doing is studying the placebo effect and making sure we can bring it into our care so that we can optimize the therapeutic effect, which is what's really going on there. If we think about the placebo effect as being the self-healing effect, then we look at it in a much different way.
The term placebo effect, as in this treatment or that pill is no more effective than placebo, is rapidly losing relevance as we learn more about the body's ability to heal itself. It turns out that the effect is powerful and desirable. And what kind of patients do you see here mostly?
We have many different kinds of patients.
But despite the challenges of study design and the mind-bending possibilities for a new understanding of how the body works, acupuncture has been extensively studied by the National Institutes of Health, National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine.
What else? When heat.
So what I'd like to show you is some of the x-rays from the
Dr. Berman conducted one of these studies. About 11 years ago, he started looking at acupuncture for osteoarthritis of the knees. This small study of 20 patients led to significant results.
And lo and behold, we found that acupuncture was safe and effective over a 6-week course of therapy for osteoarthritis of the knees. We used standard outcome measures that they use, and it showed that it reduced the pain and improved their physical function. And now we were doing a much larger randomized controlled trial with 570 patients. And I think it was helpful that we had already done a phase 1 study saying that it was safe and we think we know what points we should use. We went on to a phase 2 study where we developed a placebo control and we tested that, and we were able to say, yes, it's still safe and we can use these outcome measures. And we had a team working together, which was very important, of the acupuncturist, the methodologist, the rheumatologist, and myself.
In Seattle, Washington, I visited Group Health Research Institute and met with Dr. Dan Churkin.
Well, I've been with the Institute for 25 years.
And Dr. Karen Sherman. Dr. Sherman is a well-trained research methodologist who has a very good understanding of Chinese medicine and acupuncture.
There's a lot of laboratory data on electroacupuncture and how endorphins are released and serotonin and other neurotransmitters. But in addition, there's the notion of sort of neuroplasticity, that your brain can have certain changes that can occur as a result of treatments or actually as a result of other things, and that acupuncture may work with that. One of the challenges, I think, of really understanding how does a whole system of treatment operate is that there's probably a lot of different body systems that are happening simultaneously, and there's not one specific magic ingredient like you might find in a drug.
Acupuncture researchers have tried to come up with ways of providing a comparison treatment to real acupuncture. A commonly used control group is called sham acupuncture, which uses techniques that are deliberately intended to avoid known acupuncture points or simulate needle insertion.
A sham treatment basically means that you simulate a treatment and you don't include the active ingredient. So that means you have to know what the active ingredient is. But for acupuncture, we don't. Is it needles in a particular location? Is it stimulating the needles a particular way? Is it sticking the needles into a particular depth? Or any combination thereof? Is it eliciting to qi? We really just don't know the answer to that.
I sat down with Dr. Churkin to learn more about the large clinical trial he conducted with Dr. Sherman to determine if acupuncture is an effective treatment for people with chronic pain. One of the controls he used in his study was sham treatment.
In our study, we used this superficial stimulation with a toothpick but in real acupuncture points. So we randomized over 600 people, and then we followed them for 1 year after the 7 weeks of acupuncture treatment. There were two main results. There was no advantage of inserting a needle over superficial stimulation of the acupuncture points. The second point was that giving acupuncture-like treatments resulted in better outcomes for patients than usual care alone. So even the simulated acupuncture, which did not include insertion of needles, was actually helpful. The results of our study and that of others from Germany and other countries provide evidence that's consistent that acupuncture is helpful for patients with back pain.
And tell me a bit about the work you do here. Well, we basically look at different pain disorders and treat them with acupuncture treatments.
At the University of Michigan Chronic Pain and Fatigue Research Center, I met with Dr. Richard Harris. Dr. Harris's studies confirm that acupuncture can indeed be effective in the treatment of pain. His results show that acupuncture increases the binding availability of opioid receptors in regions of the brain that process and dampen pain signals.
We found, really to our surprise, that the receptors seem to be binding much better following acupuncture than following sham acupuncture. And what was a conundrum for us was both acupuncture and sham acupuncture reduced pain equally. I'm getting ready to start the needle insertion, and then I'm going to tap the needle in just a second.
This conundrum raises further questions about study design. But the question now is not whether acupuncture works, but how it works, and whether it is the appropriate therapy for a particular symptom, disease, or patient.
What we don't know is whether or not what the mechanism for the effectiveness of acupuncture is, but we do know that people that get it do better than people that don't.